So many SDRs often use Bitscale for their initial list building enrichments, maybe creating their calling lists. So just wanted to sort of share with you guys some best practices and maybe create a small playbook that you can reference whenever you're starting out building your first list on Bitscale. So this video would not go very deep into the integrational or the workflow creation aspects of Bitscale. We will focus majorly on things that an SDR would require in their day-to-day. And I'll just walk you through the entire procedure from end to end. And if you have any questions regarding that, you can always reach out to us either via mail or on our support channel. So step one is always like qualifying accounts, finding accounts. And for that, you can always get a nifty set of accounts in our internal database. You can always like pull in your existing accounts from your CRM or via an CSV import as well. But for the sake of this video, let's just consider like we are like starting from scratch and we'll be utilizing the Bitscale internal database. So just click on find companies and just pass whatever filters that you feel are relevant. Majorly geographical and headcount related filters are relevant here. Maybe some industry based ones as well. A few of you guys might be reaching out to companies that offer very niche like products. So in those cases, you can leverage the company keywords option here. In our case, that's not very relevant. So I'll just set up the headcount as 200 to 500, 500 to 1000. I think this should be good enough for us at least. Company location will be set as United States. And yeah, I guess that is all that is really required from our end. We'll just preview the results here. Now you would also have an option to save this filter so that you can reutilize this multiple times. All of your saved filters will be listed at the top right here. But for now, I'll just preview the results. All right, we have a huge set of companies. I was sort of hoping let's also filter on the industry type here since we already have so many people. So software, etc. should be the best for us, right? SaaS. Okay, this seems good enough. I'll also select internet. Not really. Okay, computer software and computer network security seems good enough for now. Let's just preview the results. We should reduce the number of accounts. Okay, 1480 companies. So a nice little list to start with. I'll just import that into a new grid. Right. So in the first fetch, you get 100 rows. This is by design so that you can test out your flows, anything that you want to experiment with. And once you're comfortable with how your grid is looking, you can head to data sources, the top left, click on the source that you just created, and then fetch rows in batches of as high as 1000 until you exhaust the total number of results that you have found or your monthly company import limit. So for now, I'll just import 400 more so that I have a list of around 500 accounts. Perfect. So we have all 500 accounts available. Next, I might want to like filter these accounts on some factors. So maybe some ICP flagging, whether these accounts are really relevant for us or not. For that, you can utilize our enrich company tool. Okay, so this is sort of like our bread and butter tool for finding out more information surrounding a company because this live scrapes their LinkedIn. So anything that's available on the LinkedIn, we can retrieve that. So pretty accurate information. Other than this, you also have an option of utilizing some of your favorite data providers on Bitscale, be it Rocket Reach, Lead Magic, Apollo, Contact Out, etc. So the coverage will vary from provider to provider, and but if the company is available on LinkedIn, it's always recommended that you use LinkedIn and which company here. So we'll just do that and run this for the first 10 rows. So while I'm actually setting up this entire workflow, I'll be running in batches of 10 only. But once the workflow has been set up, you don't have to do this anymore. You have an option of just selecting the entire grid from the top left right here and running all rows. Or if you want to like run a specific set of rows, you can select those and run as well. You can also set up row level ranges, right? If you want to run from 100 to 200, or if you only want to run for rows where you've not run before. So you can set up a filter here where enrich company is empty, something like that. Then you can run for these other rows as well. Just for clarity, I'm just saying this. It's not really rocket science here. So the next step would usually be sort of setting up the filtering aspect. And for that, we can use GPT, which is our AI enrichment model. Not ours. We utilize OpenAI's GPT for this. You also have an option to choose between DeepSeek and Anthropic. But at a high level, all you really need to know is that this is an AI model that helps you sort of parse through the information and understand the company's details and maybe flag them into an ICP or not, depending on what prompts you give. Right. So that is the high level understanding that you really need here. All right. Okay. So I'll just select GPT for fast here, and I'll just write a quick prompt. All right, so I've written a nice small little prompt here. Nothing too complicated. To be very honest, since we have already passed these like filters in the initial search, so it's not really required in this case. But I just wanted to show you in case you have the data from some other source and you want to check the ICP filtering, whether the company that you're reaching out to is relevant or not, or maybe you want to gain some extra context from the description available on the LinkedIn page. You can do so using this. Okay. One recommendation in this scenario is like whenever you're asking a GPT model to reference any kind of data in any of your previous enrichments, please tag it at the bottom of the prompt. So that is why I waited after writing this so that I can show you how you can do that. So it's a simple prompt, go through the dump, only turn yes if the industry is related to computer software and the number of people is between 200 and 500. I'll just write 1000 here rather than 500. And dump, then I'll just tag the column. And which company. Now you do have an option of tagging either this as a required column or an optional column. So what this really means is if you want to sort of reference the value even if this is empty, or a better way of putting it would be like you want to run this enrichment even when this value is empty. In those cases, you would want to set this as optional. So like if there's a multi-step comparison happening, that if this is not available, check this is not available, check this, etc. In those cases, you can set all of those as optional, and GPT will handle the rest of it. But in this case, since we are only passing this entire enrich company dump together, I'll just set that as compulsory or required. Let's save that. ICP not. Let's rename this. Set the is ICP. I'll set that as false. Save. Let's run first in rows. Okay. Have the response right here. We'll set that here. Okay. So few of these are false. Let's see why. Okay. AI training. Employee count. Okay, so employee count was too high. So the initial search missed this. So actually this is relevant. So the employee count is around 19,000 to be very honest. So this works out. So now we only have these accounts that we need to reach out to, the ones that are set as true. So the next step would be finding people from these accounts. You've done the filtering. Now the next step is obviously finding the contacts that you want to reach out to. So you go back to enrichment here, scroll down, and you will find people from company. You can also search this in the search bar right here. Just select that, pass the company URL here, and search the job title that you want to search for. You can also like set up a combination of department and seniority if you don't have exact job titles that you want to search for, but it's always recommended to use exact job titles if you want to like focus on specific personas. In case your companies are SMBs or like smaller companies that you reach out to, in those cases, obviously the department and seniority combination will make more sense to increase the coverage of data. So pass head of sales, all of these, and I also and all of its variants. Yeah, that is all I really needed. I'll set up a fetch limit to 5 because that's all the amount. You don't really want to spam like multiple people from the same company, and you want to leave some of your time available in the future as well if you have to reach out once more. So I guess that is it. I'll also set the location as United States. I'll save that. Oh, and the run condition. So we have received false and true here. So I'll just set up a run condition where is ICP contains true, only then should this run. Cool. For a few of these, we did not find accounts, but that's fine. We started with a huge list initially. We can always boil down later. And for the ones that we did find, we can proceed with them. So I'll just open that. Let's see the profiles that we have retrieved. This guy is growth marketing manager. Okay, relevant. Then we have demand gen person, also relevant, sort of. Growth marketer and marketing manager. Okay, relevant profiles. And we'll just export them into a separate grid. So what this really means is like a single cell right now has 5 contacts, right? But you cannot process those contacts or act on those contacts if they are in a single cell. So you would want to explode them across rows. So we'll create a new grid here. And we'll select some of the other data points that were relevant for us. In this case, what's really happening is we are pushing all of these contacts into separate rows into the grid that was created right here when I clicked on create new grid over here. And along with that, I can also push data from this grid. So in case you had done any kind of account level enrichments here or some data points that you had captured, you could have pushed those data points along with the contacts into the second grid. So as to save credits, you would not have to like enrich those data points across each contact because you would obviously have multiple contacts per account. Selecting these. All right. Save. And we'll just run this. So right, the ones that were run previously are the only ones that run really. And all of these contacts then get pushed into this second grid where all of the contact level information has already been populated and the email and phone waterfalls have been preset. So the logic behind this is obviously if you have found contacts, you would need to find their emails and phone numbers. In case you do not require this, you can always like delete them, but these have already been preset. You can utilize them as is. And if you want to visualize any of the other data points that were missed earlier, maybe the first name, the headline, you can add them as column by just hovering over this and adding as column, right? You can, and the other data points that I mentioned, the enrichments, the company level enrichments that you had done earlier, you can add them as a column as well. Right. So next would simply be finding their emails. And their phone numbers. So we do not claim 100% coverage, obviously. We claim coverage more to the range of like 80 to 85%. For emails, phones have shown a tendency to have better coverage in our cases. But yeah, once you have found the emails and the phone numbers, you can go to enrichment, go to integration, and then either push it to like instantly or smart leads for your email or outbound campaigns, or you can push it to your CRM via HubSpot or Salesforce, or you can add it to like LinkedIn outreaches via HeyReach or Lemlist, right? You can also like push these accounts to Slack if you like do this manually, or if you are setting this flow for sort of like enterprise accounts. So in those cases, you can push that to Slack so that someone can manually like track all of this. But yeah, so this is how you consume the data. And majorly, this is going to be the flow for almost all SDRs that want to like make their day-to-day easier. And if you have any other questions, do reach out to us. This is sort of like a high-level walkthrough of an SDR playbook. Obviously, you can add specific signals that you want to catch, specific data points that you want to catch, or you can also create copies in the contact level grid if you want. Do reach out if you need help with any of these use cases. Our support channel is always open. And yeah, that's it. Cheers. Bye.